Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I just got back from Wendy's. This is 100% a ketchup bottle on my desk, and now I am ready to do my UFC best bets for this weekend, which is UFC 350 in Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena, which is in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Let's go, baby. We got a absolutely mediocre card for Canadians once again. It's kind of shit. It is what it is, but we do have some best bets for you. We do have some props and parlays. We also do have one pick for every single fight on the card. And let's get right into it and get down and dirty. We're going to start off with the four best bets. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with the first best bet of the evening, which I believe is Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan. I don't know why I was reading Ivan first, but we're staying on the side here. Let's move the camera down to the middle here. I feel like this is a good spot to leave it for now. Now we have Navajo Sterling as the first best bet. I just believe that he is the true prospect coming out of Auckland, New Zealand. Auckland has been having a tough time with prospects recently, but do have Quillian Zell-Kilt, and they do have Navajo Sterling. Navajo Sterling coming out of City Kickboxing, almost mimicking Israel Adesanya to a key. It's really impressive to watch. Ivan Erslan is just one of those guys that is absolutely horrendous to watch. You watch his fights in KSW, and they're cool just because they're just a bunch of Russian guys running at each other. And then you see him come to the UFC against Ion Cutelaba, have a lackluster fight. Doesn't look like his gas tank is going to last, and it kind of looks like Navajo Sterling is going to be able to absolutely put him out of his misery inside round 2 or 3 with a late TKO stoppage due to just exhaustion. I think Navajo Sterling has what it takes to become a true contender at 205. He does have 79 inches of reach here as well. 7 inches of reach against Ivan Erslan is good enough to bet him. Minus 330 tag. KO is minus 110 if you take Navajo Sterling, maybe over 1.5 rounds. You could get it to a plus 110. Yeah, I do like that. I like that a little bit better than the KO prop. KO prop's a little bit sketchy, of course. But if you're sitting at a minus 330, you either might want to put him in a parlay or just play a prop because you can't really bet him by himself at that low of a tag. Now we're going to take a look at the next best bet of the evening, and it's going to be Modestas Bukauskas against Ion Cutelaba. Now, I have said time and time again, Ion Cutelaba is not one of those guys that you're going to rely on when it really comes down to betting. He's not one of those guys that you're going to go in confidently thinking that he's going to go in and knock a guy out. He has come out before and absolutely torched dudes, but recently inside of his UFC career, you know, the Lins, the Erslan, and the Ivo Oslan, he's not really throwing that much. It seems more... Oh. Now, this wouldn't be a recording without an interruption. Thank you to my sister. Now, like I was talking about, in recent Ion Cutelaba fights, he has not been using the hands as much as he has been using them in previous fights inside of his career. He usually just tries to fight guys and just get into the clinch and just try and, you know, force some crazy action. Hasn't been happening as much as of late. He's more calm, more collected, and I don't like that about Ion Cutelaba. I think his style of rushing in and kind of torching guys is what makes him good at. Realistically, it's the only thing that really is good about him. Modestas Bukauskas, really solid kickboxer. I think in this situation, just certainly a lot better than Ion Cutelaba. I think he gets it done. I think the mix-up capabilities are there. Bukauskas did get caught against Marcin Prachnio by a nice high kick that he threw literally 3 inches away. I don't think something like that's going to happen with Cutelaba. I think Modestas is just going to be able to just piece him up, either win a decision or win by KO. Now, he is even on the line, minus 110. Bukauskas by KO, plus 275. I'd be more comfortable with laying the chalk on the under 1.5 at minus 170. But I am also super confident in Modestas Bukauskas to get this done. Ion Cutelaba is just a can. I cannot no longer endorse him whatsoever. Now, next on the best bets, we're going to be taking a look at Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. We are taking Jasmine Jasudavicius all day. Jessica Andrade has consistently in her career had problems with girls who are good at wrestling. Andrade in herself is a very strong contender. You know, the slam of Rose Namajunas a long time ago was, you know, very telling of that. But now she's moved up to 125 since then, a little bit later in her career. And she doesn't have the power that she used to have, that people were scared of. She's lost a lot of the muscle, to be completely honest. And I don't think she's going to be able to do anything against Jasmine. I think the ragdoll of Jasudavicius' jiu-jitsu and wrestling is just going to be all day. I think Jessica Vicious is going to take her to a long decision or submit her. You're looking at, a hefty price on the line, minus 333, or you're paying, for the submission plus 275. You could also take Jasmine just to win over 1.5 rounds, which does seem very plausible, minus 150. I do like that a lot more. We're going to move on to the fourth best bet of the evening, but before we do that, we're not going to do it without first giving 2 honorable mentions to something that definitely should have been propped up. These are going to be my favorite just side picks other than the locks. Benoit Saint-Denis, I guess you can put in there, but realistically, we're not going to put him in there. He should be able to beat Kyle Propolek, and if he doesn't, it's pathetic. It should be Benoit Saint-Denis by finish. Honorable mention, Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. I'm not too sure why we're giving Jose Aldo just a minus 225 tag. It seems a little bit disrespectful. It's now a minus 188. That's even more disrespectful. I think I would lay the chalk all day on Jose Aldo. A 2-time featherweight champion. Or a 1-time. Is it 2-time? No, 1-time, just defended it for a while. Previous featherweight champion, dropped down to bantamweight, feels better than ever. Looks very good, looks very fast, feels like realistically he hasn't lost a fight since Merab Dvalishvili, and before that, Piotr Jan beat the shit out of him in 2020, but, during COVID, rough camps, you know what it is. Ayman Zahabi, I do respect, but on this situation, it's a little bit outmatched. Ayman Zahabi has been improving quite drastically recently inside of his career, but I think Jose Aldo puts a stop to that hype real quick. Even though I do respect Zahabi, I do follow Zahabi, I do watch all of his stuff, I do think he's a fantastic contender. It's just, I do have a bit of a dilemma. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going with the Mike. You know what? Maybe we'll do this. We're going to do a double. You know what? We're going to take Modestas Bukauskas as a honorable mention now, because I think now that I look at it, I think I feel confident in picking these two. You know what? Perhaps we'll just keep it like that. Maybe we'll put Charles Radke as an honorable mention. Now, Charles Radke's taking on Mike Malott inside Quebec, Canada. Malott's going to have a lot of hype from the crowd. I don't think it's going to matter. Now, I did watch a lot of Mike Malott fights back. It does seem like this price tag is coming from the hype of Canada, realistically. Dude, if you go back and watch the Mickey Gall fight from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he almost got knocked out by Mickey Gall. He was cut up bad. He doesn't deal well when he goes long in fights. He likes to get it done inside the first round. Charles Radke's a guy who's fucking game. He is game. He is so down to fight. He's very, very hefty on the punches. He's very, very solid with the hooks and the counter punches. It seems as though Mike Malott might have a problem with a guy who doesn't go down as easily as some of these other dudes like Adam Fugit and Johan Lenis. Trevin Giles didn't even get knocked out by him, and Trevin Giles has been having problems with his chin since fucking 2021, all right? Now, we're going to keep that as an honorable mention. I feel as though this is the most confident pick I can make. I feel as though this is my lock of the week. I feel as though nothing could get better than having the greatest of all time as an underdog, and that is in the fight of Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot opened as a plus 130 underdog, and Valentina Shevchenko opened as a minus 160, which 100% makes sense on the line. And you have Valentina Shevchenko, who is now a plus 110. Put all of your money on Valentina Shevchenko. There is no way Manon Fiorot is beautiful. She's got beautiful striking, very good kickboxing. She's beaten Erin Blanchfield, who isn't that fucking good, realistically. Who's beaten kind of bums, honestly. Talia Santos, that's a good win. I'll give you that. But even then, Santos moved on to the PFL. Rose Namajunas kind of on the tail end of her career, not performing as well. Molly McCann, JJ Aldrich, Jessica Andrade, again, not very good opposition for what we're looking at this time and place. And you have Valentina Shevchenko, who's beaten the likes of Alexa Grasso, who I don't really rate that high. Talia Santos, which should have been clear win. Lauren Murphy, knockout. Jessica Andrade, knockout. Jennifer Maia, Kaylin Kamara, Liz Carmouche, Jessica I, Joanna Jacek, Priscilla Cachoeira by Jurina Kachuk, who's kind of dog shit, whatever. Split decision against Amanda Nunes, which was close. Armbar over Pena. Holly Holm decision. Dude. This girl's nasty. She's got everything. She's got everything that she needs to become a champ. and state champ. And that's what she has done over the years. Now, when you look at Maddalena Fiorot, you see some issues. You see some holes in the grappling. You see some girls who just feel like they're super confident. They're going to stand and bang with her. Shevchenko's not that girl. She's going to mix it up. She's going to make it boring if she has to. She's going to win. She wants that ruby. She wants that belt. She's going to get it. Valentina Shevchenko plus 110. I love Valentina Shevchenko via decision plus 187. That's where the chalk is at. Okay. Now we're going to go through every single fight, give you a pick for every single one. Let's go. Brad Katona versus Bekzat Almakhan. Best bet, in my opinion, probably Almakhan at minus 160. If you want to play it super safe, over 2.5 rounds, minus 340. Solid pick. Brad Katona never getting finished. Bekzat, I doubt will get finished by Brad. Brad's more of a volume striker. Not going to happen. Daniel Santos versus Jung Young Lee. I like Santos a lot, but the reach advantage is a little bit of a problem that you need to think about in the back of your head. Over 1.5 rounds, if it's viable, minus 200, I don't mind it. Jung Young Lee, I don't like the line at minus 125. I like Daniel Santos plus 100. Take it or leave it. Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva has a plus 125 all day. I feel like he's going to be able to knock out Marc-Andre Barriault. Barriault being knocked out by Dustin Stoltzfus is a bad look, only being on his back for 3 minutes of the fight before getting back up and getting knocked out. I think it was maybe 4 minutes, but still. Terrible look for Andre. I think Bruno Silva gets a win in the win column finally after a little while, not to go the distance, minus 200. Maybe that's the way to go. Next, Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Ursulin. Like I said, Navajo Sterling over 1.5 rounds. I love it all day, plus 110. Pretty solid. Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. Bukauskas minus 110 just on the line is probably where you're sitting. Over 1.5 rounds maybe. But I think Bukauskas is going to be able to get a late TKO. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 175, maybe a little bit better. Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. I have Jasmine by submission probably. I think Andrade is a little bit out of her whip here. Plus 275 on it. Maybe Andrade or, Jasudavicius minus 3.5, minus 135 isn't too bad. Mike Moa versus Charles Radke. We're taking Radke on the line. It's been moving quite a lot. Radke is now only a plus 140. It's moved fucking shitloads. Lots of money's coming on the side of Chuck Buffalo. We have Charles Radke by knockout plus 333. That's where you want your money at. It's only going to go down from now on. Not to go the distance is your best bet for sure. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Propolek. They don't even give you a fucking... I don't even know. Maybe DraftKings has it. Let's see. DraftKings. It's 3-2. Wow. 3-2 is crazy. Am I blind here? Am I blind? Nope, no line. Okay, so we're going to go with Benoit Saint-Denis. Under 2.5 rounds, right? Minus 400. Oh my god, under 1.5 rounds? Minus 175. Jesus Christ, don't even bet that fight, guys. What are we fucking doing here? We're really betting that chalky of a line? What do we do? That big of a degenerate? Nah, maybe skip that one. Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva. Grasso's kind of a bum. Low-key. Watch her fights back. Kind of big holes in the grappling. Silva's going to sit there all day. Jose Aldo. You know what? Low key, it kind of Natalia Silva by submission might be live. Plus 1,000, maybe sprinkle a little bit on it. Sorry, I was a little bit silent there. I was really thinking about it. That's live. Under 2.5 might be it. Plus 330. Silva minus 3.5 though. Plus 115. Yeah, for sure. Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Aldo by decision. Fuck, that's hard. Maybe skip this fight. I like Jose Aldo on the line, but it's not paying enough. It's kind of hard to pick. Valentina Shevchenko, Maddalena Fiorot. We're going Valentina Shevchenko. And then you have something interesting. You have the final fight of the evening. Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad, who is taking on Jack Della Maddalena. Now, Della Maddalena has been getting a little bit of love recently. A lot of love for the boxing. A lot of love for the power. A lot of love for just the beautifulness of what Jack Della Maddalena is. But... and that's a big but. You go and look at Jack's fights. He fights Gilbert Burns. My opinion was losing that fight right until the knee. Okay, Kevin Holland split decision. Maybe Kevin Holland won that fight. Go back and watch it. Basile Hafez split decision. Okay, well, that's a bit of a fucking problem. I don't know what's going on there. Randy Brown, submission. Beautiful. Danny Roberts, knockout. Beautiful. Ramazan Amaev. Okay, not too bad. Pete Rodriguez. Okay, well, that's pretty bad. Ange Lusa. That's pretty bad. Kevin Jose. That's pretty bad. Okay, these are fucking wins that have not aged as well as maybe they should have. And now you're realizing that Bilal Muhammad is probably going to wrestle fuck Jack Della and Maddalena into the ground. Yes. Yes, he will. Jack Della Maddalena will lose this fight. He will not become champion. Bilal Muhammad is going to wrestle fuck him all day, all night. He does not care. He just wants to win. We're taking Bilal Muhammad on the line. And we're going to take over 3.5 rounds as the lock up, because I don't think Jack Della is going to be able to do anything. And if he does, I'll be very surprised. Now we'll take on some parlays real quick here. We're going to take, maybe we'll put top right. I don't know. We're just going to keep moving the camera around and see what happens. Beksat Almacan, like it early. Daniel Santos early, not too bad. Bruno Silva early. There you go. That's a nice early parlay. No? Not good enough for you guys? Okay. We'll take, just give me what? Just give me 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
What? Okay. There you go. One more from the same person. That's good. Beksat Almacan, Navajo Sterling, Jasmine Jasavicius. There you go. That's plus 174. Kind of trash. Maybe we do this. Navajo Sterling minus 3.5. Beksat, and you have Bruno Silva. I mean, Bruno Silva plus 3.5 would be good, no? I think he can definitely take a round from fucking Marc-Andre Barrial, if not win the fight. So we'll just do this. I love this. I do like Daniel Santos, though. We'll take Daniel Santos plus 3.5. There you go. No, not good enough for you. Plus 780 is not good enough for you. A four leg early. Here, let's take the best bets. Let's see what we like here. We like Beksat. We like Navajo Sterling. We like Jasmine Jasavicius. We like Charles Radke plus 3.5, but we're not going to take it just in case. Nah, we won't. Natalia Silva. Shevchenko. Jose Aldo. Bukauskas. It's not a bad 7 leg. If we want to pick like all the, if you pick all the picks I'm gonna pick this weekend, we can just stack it up here. If this wins, I'll fucking shit my pants. What does this pay? $5 pays $3 grand. $25 pays what? $13,000. I wouldn't mind $13,000 to be completely honest. I bet you guys wouldn't either. Yeah, Beksat Almacan, Navajo Sterling, Jasmine Jasavicius, Natalia Silva, Valentina Shevchenko, Jose Aldo, Modestas Bukauskas, Daniel Santos, Bruno Silva, Charles Radke, Bilal Muhammad. Now, out of all of these, the sketchiest fights are probably Bruno Silva, even though I do believe that he's going to be able to just torch up Marc-Andre Barrial regardless. And that's probably it, honestly. It's probably just Bruno Silva and maybe Daniel Santos, but I think Daniel Santos gets it done. It's just a lot of reach advantage he's working against, and a lot of worries. Now, if you want to take a cycle parlay, you take, honestly, if you want to take a wild cycle parlay and go for some fucking cash, you go Charles Radke by knockout. You go... Beksat Almacan by decision. And you go Jasmine Jasavicius by submission. There you go. $15 pays $5.60. I think you can get it done. I think it wins. If you do not like the Charles Radke by knockout line, you can switch it up and you can maybe switch it to... What is the better one if you don't do that? Maybe Daniel Santos, but even then, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe Bukauskas. But yeah, I think you should just stay with the line of Charles Radke. I think he's a huge pick here. I think if you want to pick some underdogs for the night, you go Charles Radke, you go Bukauskas, you go Santos, and you go Valentina Shevchenko. And that could be your parlay for the night. If you want to take some of the sketchiness away, this is probably where you're going for $25, $250. If you want to take over unders, This one's sketchy. I'm just gonna take fucking neither of those. This one's also sketchy. This one's under. Bukowskis. I'm gonna go over. Jasmine under. Charles under. Over. Yeah, that's not too bad. Listen, don't make too big of parlays, okay? Make 2 to 3 legs. Don't fucking kill yourself. That's a good parlay, plus 114. You know, like Charles Radke, Jasmine. That's a good parlay, plus 212. You know, you want to take these two and maybe Bukowskis, plus 495. That's early. It's good. It's not that bad. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you have not already. This was the best bets. We'll see you guys on Saturday for the live, even though I'm going to be working that morning. It is what it is. But hopefully I'll see you guys there. Talk to you guys later. Peace.